Pounding this steel into barren lands, burning my back, tearing my hands, building this as far as it will go.
Welcome to Texas Local Live. My name is Ben Martinek, and tonight we've got Mr. Nick Sterling up here on stage with us. How you doing, sir?
Good to go.
Good.
How are you?
Good to go. I'm doing well, man. Thank you for coming up.
Absolutely.
We're out here at the ranch in Las Colinas, once again hanging out for Tuning Texas. We got some great tunes coming up tonight from 4 artists, Nick being one of them. So stick around if you're out there live, or if you're out here on the internet live, I guess, also. Stick around and check that out. But first off, we want to hear from Nick here. So we like to softball questions at you and just hear your responses. So right out of the gate, man, what got you into music? What got you started here?
So I've been playing for a long time, and right out of the high school, I joined the military, and I stayed with it for a while. Then after the military, just kind of worked jobs over here, overseas, did a lot of different types of work. Just never really found my way back to music till recently. Just for some reason, I never saw it as a viable career choice, because I always felt I had to be getting down and dirty and muddy to earn my money. So, and I finally realized, saw a lot of guys working really hard in music and doing really well and putting a lot of effort into it. And I said, well, you know what, I can work hard. I'm going to give it a shot.
Yeah, if you're going to work hard anyway, you might as well do it with something you're loving, right?
Absolutely.
So you played music prior to joining?
Yeah, I mean, I play guitar and I sang a little bit here and there, and then it was mainly just a hobby until
Campfire stuff?
Maybe a year or two ago, yeah.
Yeah, very cool, man. Well, first off, thank you for your service. I'll tell you right out of the gate. But, man, that's a cool perspective that you had about that, the music and working. Because I know the mindset. I have family and relatives that are in the armed forces, and that's, you know.
Yeah.
You come out with this mentality of that. Like,
it's tough to get out of that mentality, or at least to apply it towards something that you're really passionate about and caring about,
Very cool. So how long have you been writing songs then, I guess? Is it as of recently as well, or?
Man, you know, I took a lot of journals overseas. I think a lot of guys do, and I wouldn't call it poetry as much more than journals, just because it was just more my thoughts on paper, which technically I guess is poetry. Yeah. And it turns into songs, and that's a lot of the stuff I have is thoughts that I had overseas or right after that I ended up turning into songs. But really writing, sitting down and saying, hey, this is going to be a song, probably only about a year and a half, 2 years.
Wow. It's pretty new for that.
Very new.
That's awesome, man. And you've been able to hone that into something that has just been pretty incredible, and the amount of effort you put behind it. But
I think so. I mean, I found that especially in Texas, it's all about honesty and authenticity.
Yeah.
People really respect that, and
Agreed.
They feed into that if they can tell you're being really honest, even if it's not their type of music or you're not really their type of artist. If they can tell you're being very authentic with your songs, they usually feed into that, and they're at least respectful of that. And so I've just found be as bluntly honest as I possibly can, and it ends up working out for me.
Yeah, that's funny you say that too, because I think that goes with any genre of music, being honest in the way you write. But typically in this music, and I say Texas country or Red Dirt or whatever you want to put it on, but mainly storytelling music, songwriting music, it can be sniffed out much easier. I don't know what it is about this style of music that people can tell that if you're full of it.
And they'll call you out on it.
I know, and that's what I mean. The crowd, as well as the person writing, they can totally tell.
And in the age that we're in of social media and everything, where it's easy to get immediate gratification or immediate retaliation, they'll let you know immediately if they don't like something you're doing or they think you're not being real. I mean, you see guys all the time doing it on the positive end or negative end of what they're doing, but they're true to themselves. People just let them do what they're doing as long as it's honest. If they can tell they're trying to be a bad boy for no reason or trying to be a good old boy for no reason, it doesn't make sense. They'll call them out
to fit some
on
mold
it.
or something. Yeah, exactly.
And they'll let them know.
Yeah, and I think that was such the beef with the Nashville scene too. I'm sure you know we've talked about it every week on the show. And there's no beef necessarily. It's just a matter. It's just that I think it's just a matter of we can tell that's not there because we know plenty. I mean, we know artists that we've had on the show that are in Nashville that are honest and true and they're doing well and kudos to them. But the ones that are
Exactly.
just doing it to cookie cut a song and you know
Yeah.
sell units, that's just not.
Exactly. Because
obviously
I
where
don't
it's
care
at.
if you're not a real cowboy.
Yeah.
Just don't sing songs saying that you are. It's not a
Yeah,
problem.
8
I'm
seconds.
cool with whatever you want
never
to do,
even seen
man.
a bull, man. I don't care. Yeah, come on. That's insane. So what's your you've written obviously words. You've been putting that down. What's your strategy and your styling on when you're putting that into a song? Like how do you?
Man, you know, it's tough. And I had another interview not too long ago asking this with another songwriter, and we're bouncing ideas off each other. And it comes down to everybody's different, and
Yeah.
it's a process sometimes, because I just wrote a brand new song that I played at one of my CD releases this weekend, and which is unconventional for a CD release, just brand new. But I threw it to my fiddle player, and we knocked it out of the park, and went really well. But it was something I wrote in about 5 minutes in the middle of the night.
Oh wow.
Just that's the way it came to me, and I just woke up, had this weird dream, and then a thought I had for a while finally kicked in. I just wrote down a whole bunch of lyrics, and then sometimes I'm humming and I'm trying to figure it out, and then it takes a while, and I have to go back to it over and over again for months sometimes. So
So you get the lyrics
it's just-
first and then go to melody later. Usually.
I usually try to go to melody. I try to find because I can do a lot with my vocals to where I can figure something out into it and I capo a lot,
Yeah.
which I know my musicians I play with hate, because it just puts it in all sorts of off keys.
Sure.
But you know, I haven't really found my way of writing where I can say this is what I do.
Yeah.
It's been
No,
all
that's-
over, and I'm still an amateur when it comes down to it. So
Yeah.
if I find something that works, I probably couldn't do it again if I tried
right,
until
yeah.
it just hits me.
Yeah. No, that's I expect that. That answer is pretty much in a nutshell what everyone said.
Yeah.
You do it your own way. Everybody's got their own styling to do it, but I like to hear the little stories about you
Yeah.
waking up, writing stuff. That's kind of unique
Yeah.
to
And I do
some
that quite a
songwriters.
bit. My single that's on the radio right now, that's how that was written. It was just immediate. I woke up and I just wrote it, and it just worked out that way.
Yeah.
Sometimes they're good, sometimes they're bad, and a lot of time, I mean, you can write hundreds of songs and only get enough for 10 that goes on an album.
Yeah.
So you never know what's gonna make it, what isn't.
Yeah, exactly. And tell us about your album out there that's going on the
Yeah,
radio.
it just came out February 23rd. It's called Stand Your Ground. Came out on all outlets, iTunes, Amazon, anywhere you can get it. But all the proceeds of that are going to the Lone Survivor Foundation, an organization that I've worked with a lot and I've benefited by, my family and I have, and a lot of my friends have as well. And I work pretty heavily with my CD release show that I just had at Main Street Crossing down in Tomball near Houston. All the proceeds of that went to the foundation as well. So it's doing pretty good. I mean, a lot better than I expected off the bat.
Yeah, very
People
cool.
are really either probably more really wanted to support the foundation, which is
Yeah,
fine with, which
that's-
is what I wanted.
Yeah.
More than liking my music off the bat, but it gets the music in the ears, and then it gets them to listen to the words and raise awareness, which even more than raising money, raising awareness is just as
Yeah.
important, because
Yeah.
that raises the money in the long run.
Absolutely. So all the proceeds are going to that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, that's amazing.
Yeah,
That is
so
awesome,
I
dude.
might crash and burn here soon
Oh,
financially.
dude, no,
but-
not at all. I
think
hope not.
I was totally okay with that happening when we did it. Is
Yeah.
you know what? Am I okay having to quit this and go back to work next year if this doesn't work because we spent all our money on this, not
Yeah.
getting any profit? We're like, yeah, that's fine.
I'm not okay with that. I want you to have an album number 2 because we're going to have a huge concert and it's going to be a benefit. And I would love to bring in other artists that are into what you're doing, man, because
Oh,
that's
absolutely.
incredible. That's such a cool thing, selfless thing you're doing, and what
using
they're
your-
doing
yeah.
is selfless too. I mean, what that organization does too, man. It's incredible.
Oh yeah,
so
exactly.
it's,
and you want to
man.
use what you're passionate about to give back to something is a great feeling.
Oh,
so
yeah.
there's nothing that beats that.
Man, that's incredible. We get to take a page out of this guy's book right here because that's seriously, that's huge stuff. If any 1% of the artists out there listening could do something like that, it just
I mean, it's tough to do. It's
It
just
is.
I'm a little, I'm not that old. I'm only 31 now, but I've worked pretty hard in my life to get to where we are as a family and financially. It definitely we're taking a big hit, but
yeah.
it was it's not an easy thing to do, and
Yeah.
I don't blame most people that don't do that, especially off the bat.
Yeah.
It's not unconventional, but I had the ability to do it, so I wanted to do
Sure,
it.
yeah.
To where I knew that I could hit negative and still we could make it out with
Yeah.
just by honestly touring and playing shows and
Yeah.
doing the old troubadour lifestyle.
Right. Yeah.
That'll pay the bills if you do it right.
If you do it right, man. If you hustle, if you put as much effort into,
Yeah,
another job like
exactly.
you're talking about, getting dirty, doing
Exactly.
something else, man.
Just get on the road and drive. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's
exactly.
there's nothing wrong with that lifestyle
No.
and being okay with doing that. And
It's a necessity, man. In this business, you kind of have to be. And there's a
right.
lot of artists that teeter on that local to regional to,
yeah, and I totally understand them too. I was talking to people about it today, actually, how it's tough to figure out. I really want to go regional, but people don't know me out here. But I'm comfortable in here because
Yeah.
now I can make money here.
Yeah.
But if you want to expand, you got to expand. It's a weird leap to make.
Yeah.
And then from there, you got to go. Am I going to quit my job and then do this? That's a tough leap for a lot of people to make. So I don't blame people for. It takes a lot of courage to do that. Just put both feet in the fire and say, quit your job and say, I'm doing this.
Yep.
That's not an easy thing to do.
not at all with anything, much less music where
Yeah.
I mean,
It fluctuates every
Oh, man.
by the day. If one crowd likes your music and one doesn't, if one station picks you up, one doesn't,
Yeah.
and it can make or break you. And it's
Oh, yeah.
it's a tough business.
Yeah. The worst thing, I don't know how honest, and that's another question I want to ask you too coming up. But the honesty of the scene, because you are doing a radio tour, you're kind of out doing that
Yeah.
that realm of it. What's the honesty in terms of telling people, about your skills and what you've got and critiquing you? Really, I mean, I'm kind of curious about that because that's one thing that is a downer because you come into it where you've been in your room writing songs and then you play an open mic and your friends and family, you're local,
Yeah.
and you're playing to crowds that people are receptive,
Yeah.
and then you go to somewhere where they don't know you,
Yeah.
and you know what I mean, and you
feel
almost
it.
need that because if you
Oh,
take the leap and no
absolutely.
one told you you're not good,
Yeah,
that's scary,
and
man.
This is one of the toughest businesses for that because it's not. You can go to another job and you work really hard, and then you just don't quite make the cut at your job. It's like, well, you just didn't work hard enough. You weren't quite good enough at this thing.
Yeah.
Music is you're putting your heart and soul into it. So if
Yeah.
it gets rejected, your
Yeah.
heart and soul is not good enough, and that can really break somebody.
Dude, yeah.
Luckily, I've got pretty tough skin after my years in the service, where that doesn't affect me too much. But I try to take everything to heart with the critiques because
Yeah.
some people will give them, and actually I appreciate that a lot of times where they say your songs need to do more of this, more of this.
Yeah.
That really does help. I
Yeah.
mean, I really try to take that stuff to heart, but I haven't had too much really bad negative from industry professionals or radio yet. I've had a few things here and there where it's like you'd be a lot. This one would sound a lot better if you did this.
Yeah.
was
Oh,
like,
I don't mean
okay,
bad
I'll take
things. I
that.
think you're incredibly talented. I'm more with the critique part. I want to hear if people are doing that. It sounds like they're.
I mean,
if they
I
will,
think,
yeah.
And some people always have something to critique,
Yeah.
that's just their nature, and
Sure.
maybe because they've done really well in the past and it's helped other artists. So,
Mm-hmm.
and I'll take it all to heart and just kind of see what works for me and what doesn't. But for the most part, I mean, you get the big one is, and I know a lot of artists deal with, is you'll get with talent buyers, and I've got a few talent buyers that are good friends of mine that have really helped me out, and then a few others who I know who kind of believe in me, but they understand that I don't pull the crowds in that region yet,
Mm-hmm.
and they have no problem letting me know and be like, you just don't put butts in the seat yet, so
Yeah.
I can't get you. You're good, but and
Yeah.
that's that.
And that's
'cause
part of the
the
business
biggest
too,
part
man.
of the business.
Yeah. It's
You
huge.
can't expect to get booked somewhere if you're not going to fill their crowd and
Yeah.
make them the money that they need.
Yeah.
So that's one of the biggest. That people are pretty blunt about that.
Yeah.
When it comes
Yeah.
down to that.
When it comes down to numbers, it's pretty easy to be blunt about numbers. It's kind
And that I get. So that's where you got to work harder on marketing and promoting, which
Sure.
is completely out of my wheelhouse. So I'm
Yeah.
learning as I go at that point.
Yeah.
Because that
That's-
stuff is not in. I'm not sure what to do with that. I can't just push it really hard and make people want to go.
Yeah.
That's really. It's
hard work only goes so far until you got to start
Yeah.
being strategic about the ways you do that.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So you're not wasting effort and going other places. man.
Exactly, or
That's-
money, or trying to throw money at like
Effort,
Facebook
all of
or
that.
radio or paper. You have no idea what's going to work and what isn't, and
Yeah.
you're pretty much just throwing money at it, hoping something sticks, and that's not a good way
Nope.
to get into it.
You're gonna, yeah.
Honestly, I found pretty good at my last show. Like, we went door to door with flyers, old school, like Blues Brothers style. And
Really?
We had some locals show up, so
Oh, that's
I can't
amazing.
do that for every show
No,
'cause
no,
I'm always
no.
on the road, but I'll give that to the guys that are able to do that
I
full
like
time
that.
because it goes back to the roots.
I just had an idea pop in my head that I'm gonna have to talk to Jed about after this, but that's
Yeah.
really awesome, man. Yeah, I like that a
Yeah.
lot, actually.
Face-to-face interaction does a lot for people.
It's almost kind of like a kick in the face to social media because
It
something
is.
about that interaction that people are lacking now, man. I mean, it's
Yeah.
been well, I don't know when social media even kicked up. 10 years, less than 10 years, right? I mean, at this point,
it kicked
so
off, and now we rely on that.
I feel
social
old
media.
saying that now.
Uh-huh.
Like, I'm 30, almost 30, and I feel old saying that.
Yeah.
When
Well,
was
that-
social media again?
Yeah, and that personal interaction does a lot. I mean, I'll reach out if I'm getting an area. I try to reach out to everyone I know in that area
Oh, yeah.
personally because I want to see them personally there,
Right.
instead of just kind of mass tagging or mass just hoping for the best. I try to. It's time consuming, but it's worth the effort because then you get the fans that you want there.
Yeah.
And then eventually fans bring more people, and then more people see you, and so
Yeah.
it should be a personal thing.
Starts to
where-
expand. Yeah, it is
Exactly.
in that moment. One person can connect with the band and be
Yeah.
like, and this song was written for me,
Yeah.
even though you're surrounded by 100,000 other people, or hopefully.
I know. I can't tell you how many bands I've met that they say it's like, man, we only had 10 fans in every city we ever went to, and then out of nowhere that turned into 100. Out
Yeah.
of nowhere, it's because
Oh, okay.
they connected with those 10 fans so heavily in each place,
Yep.
and then out of nowhere it just built like that.
Yeah,
So
because
that-
they're spreading the word about you person to person. That's how it happens.
Yeah.
No one looks. No offense, but no one's looking at your Facebook feed unless you got,
Exactly. That's
even if
true.
you've got 50,000 followers, you're still. It's easy to click like. It's harder to look
It's
away
true.
from someone when they're talking to you, looking at your eyes. It's
Exactly.
definitely a little
and that's
different.
and that's why you have to tour and you have to play because
Yeah.
that's where you're connecting with people. That's
Yeah.
how they hear the music. You're going to connect with someone at a live show more than on Spotify or Facebook or something.
Yep.
Way more at live than you ever will.
Yeah.
So you have to get out there and play.
Absolutely, man. Well, tell us, plug up a little bit, man. Tell us about where we can find your stuff and
Yeah.
anything else we need to know about your stuff.
My website, nicksterlingmusic.com. Same thing, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter is nsterlingmusic. CD is out. You can get everywhere. Spotify is on there, but there is another Nick Sterling. And like 8 years ago, my wife and I saw this guy, and he's like a long blonde hair metal band guitarist.
Okay.
He's like a savant on guitar, so he's like really good. But he has my exact same first, middle, last name.
Oh, wow.
So like it's my goal in life to be above him when you Google my name.
I like that. That's a
So
good.
it annoyed me that I was like, you can't Google my name, and he comes up. But so Spotify messed it up on the get-go. They put all my songs under him. So but it's
wow.
all fixed now. So if you go to it and there's like some weird
Some
kid,
metal
that
jam.
isn't me. So I'm still dealing with that because I've had venues put his picture up there, like shows that
Yeah.
I haven't booked.
Yeah.
And they'll put that picture just because they just go Google grab.
just Google grab.
And so this long blonde
That's
hair
funny.
hairband metal kid.
But
is
he's
up
good,
there.
right? At least he's
At least
talented.
he's good. He has
Sick.
more fans than me, so maybe they'll come out and accidentally
right,
see
right.
me.
That's pretty true, actually. See, look at that little cross marketing
Yeah,
action.
exactly.
Find out where his big cities are and
Yeah.
go book a show there.
That's not
Nick
a bad
Sterling's
idea.
in town.
Yeah.
Might have some disappointed people though. But they're waiting to hear some shredding, and you're like
Oh man.
pouring the heart out on stage.
Yeah.
That'd be pretty awesome. Though. So cool.
yeah.
So yeah, you're all over then, and
Yeah.
we can find you on there for
Yeah,
sure.
pretty much anywhere you can find music, you can just Google Nick Sterling and find Nick Sterling. I'll be one of the first ones that pops up usually. Yeah.
That's awesome. That's really fun. I didn't know that story. That's great.
Yeah.
That is greatness, man. Well, we appreciate you chatting with us a little bit, man. We're going to definitely help spread the cause as much as we can.
Thank you.
And the crowd out here, do the same if you got a chance, because it's really easy to click share. Just do that, because it'll help this man out and help out a great cause as well. So
Thank you.
we are going to hang out here tonight at the Ranch in Las Colinas. We've got some live music coming up. Nick's going to be playing, as well as a couple other artists. So stick around, and we'll get to the tunes coming up next, y'all. Thank you.
Pounding this steel into barren lands, burning my back, tearing my hands, building this as far as it will go. Taking my legs, breaking me down, bleeding all over these outcast towns. I won't stop until we're free. And I won't be bound. I'll drive this train in flames right into the ground. And I won't hold back. I'll leave it all laid out right here on these tracks. I'll clear the path. Smoke building up from the engine behind. Just keep laying these rails and we'll be just fine. Cause we're gaining steam with every tie and bolt. Mountains ahead, storms above, no time for detours or giving up. Throttle down and plow straight through like we were born to. I won't be bound, I'll drive this train in flames right into the ground. And I won't hold back, I'll leave it all laid out right here on these tracks. I'll clear the path. And I won't be bound, I'll drive this train in flames right into the